It's like a perfect storytelling rap.
From the 5200.
Let's go fresh.
You ready? You ready? I'm feeling myself.
Let's go fresh.
Not on this one.
He said not on this one.
We can tell a little story.
Man,
You can't.
I can't like let my seat back in the two-door Chevy and just go crazy right now. I was feeling myself
Thank you.
Tweet.
Thank you, Jeff, for cutting it off.
Because it was the bars was
ready.
coming.
I was ready. Boy.
I had my
go back.
Man, I had my doggy style Snoop Dogg flow ready.
Man. That's the type of song you rap about an old flame.
You know what I'm saying? Her name was probably Lorraine.
Nah, I was actually about my grandma on that song. But
I
hate you niggas.
Oh yeah, you gotta excuse us. We just got out.
Next person to say something's getting shot.
Believe that.
You know what?
And Buck Nasty's mama's bowl.
You know what? We actually gonna get that later. We gonna get that later.
Yeah.
So we have a guest. We're gonna introduce our guest from the start. Our guest, you know what? As you can probably predict, since a lot of great people did go to Whitney Young, he is a Dolphin.
Yes.
This shit is getting out of line. Like, okay, I've been cool, I've been chilling, but hey, this shit is getting. Is Whitney Young the only successful motherfuckers in Chicago? Look, if y'all out here listening to the podcast, send me fresh at the No Foreplay show. Send me a list of potential candidates that did not go to Whitney Young. This is me talking to all y'all. None against the Dolphins. Well, a little something against the Dolphins, but I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired. All right.
I mean, you could be tired. I get it, but see, the Dolphins are the people. Like when we talk to Whitney Young people, and like we be like, "So you interested in doing the show?" And they like, "Yeah, I listen to the show. Like I'm interested. Give us a date," and we make it happen. And Dolphins show up. And, you know, I'd be like, yes, okay, we with it. We got it going. So Colie's here, and I'm not even going to get into what Colie does because first I have to introduce Colie as a person because Colie was in division with me, and I feel like division in high school is the place where you was just able to just act the fuck out. And my division was pure zoo. For a number of years. I don't know what Ant's division was like.
My division was pretty much Mr. Cassidy telling me every day, you're never going to make it because you can't pass English. That was my division.
Yeah, how long was division for y'all? Like 10 minutes?
Yeah, like 10 minutes.
Yeah, we had one long division day. I don't never understand the purpose.
Yeah, we had a long division too. Like, I never understood.
We got 49 minutes in this motherfucker where all y'all do is take attendance and I stay at a girl I can never have. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, guys, thank you for having me here today. I really appreciate it.
Colie, thank you for coming. So this is weird because every time I talk to somebody from Whitney Young, I gotta like process that like literally I've known them for 21 years, right? That's a long ass time, Colie.
Yeah.
21 fucking
1996. Years. Michael Johnson had on gold spikes when we all met. Think about it.
Listen,
coolest shit I had ever seen in my life. Gold? You can make shoes out of gold?
It was at the time. Like if you think about go back to, I remember because like actually like I think my freshman year yearbook picture I got on a Dream Team jersey. It was just it was just a different time. But man, so 96, Colie, you are on the show. Colie, it was funny when I saw Colie in Vice, and I knew Colie had checked out the show, but I didn't know how much Colie had listened to the show. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, damn, Colie really be tuned into the show. So one, thank you for listening.
Yes.
And now I'm gonna put you on the spot. Do you have an episode that probably sticks out that may be your favorite episode?
Well, the episode that I liked the most, it was a recent episode, and another Whitney Young alum was on that episode as well, Mr. Brandon Smith. I thought
yes.
The way he was able to tie in what he did professionally to kind of the trials and tribulations to how he's kind of made it now. He has his own business. I really enjoyed that episode a lot, and it was just funny as shit because Brandon was always a funny dude. He's this dude that can call you fat and then give you a compliment all in the same sentence without even using a comma somehow or another. And you want to be angry, but you're happy at the same time. So
that's
Brandon,
a perfect way to describe Brandon. It really is. That motherfucker there, boy.
Yeah.
So that one was really good to me. And then the best season brunch. That I really enjoyed that episode. Y'all seemed like y'all acted a fool that day.
Oh yes.
I wish I could have been here for that one. Like that was the first one my wife had listened to, and we listened to that one together. And she was just like, "Who are these guys?" And I was like, "Y'all met them at you met them all at Timbuktu last year. Timbuktu Day last year." Like she was like, "Oh man," she was like, "We," like she wanted to come, but somebody had to watch the kids. So shout out to you, Miss Blake.
A shout out to you, Miss Blake.
Yes.
Thank you for enjoying that episode.
Besties, don't get too big headed.
You know them.
Relax.
You know them.
Besties,
Relax.
relax.
If y'all know how many times we tell the besties to relax. Relax.
Yeah, it's funny, man. The besties are big time now. We probably can't even book them again.
No, it's over. It's over.
Can't even get a text back anymore.
They took off from us.
They took off. So, Colie, you are also the senior marketing manager for something that's been a part of our lives. Before I can even really remember, New Era. New Era.
Yes, America.
Listen, man.
Women have wigs. We have New Era.
Right. Women have wigs and weaves, and we have hats.
We have hats.
Unless you could make that a slogan.
Yes. I mean, I can't even I don't even think the average guy can really count how many New Era hats that they've had in their life.
It's ridiculous.
And people always want to be like, you got a lot of Jordans, or you done had a lot of Jordans in your life. If you count the fitteds or just hats that I've had in life,
Bruh.
and they've all been New Era.
Pretty much.
It's like, man, it's such a staple. It's such a classic, and it's just so funny, man. But New Era, like, I kind of want to ask, but I feel like Fresh is going to ask you how you wound up a New Era. Fresh, do you want to ask that? You could probably ask that.
Yeah. So it was a dark and stormy night in 2000. I graduated with a marketing degree, and I never knew what to do with the motherfucker. Yep. So I'm just interested to know, like, what did you do after you graduated? Well, whatever steps you took.
So I'm gonna give you the long version if you guys will indulge.
Go ahead. We love story time.
I majored in marketing and advertising, Marquette University. Graduated in 2004.
Bang bang.
I applied for this program called the Most Promising Minority Student through the American Ad Federation. So went for it on a long shot. Definitely had the lowest GPA of anybody applying, probably in the history of the program, but I killed my essay, so I got selected for that. So this is 2004, so keep in mind, internet is still slow. I think at home we still have like an AOL trial, so it's not like you necessarily, you got a lot of exposure, but if you won this thing, you were featured in Ad Age, the magazine, which was a big deal. So I luckily parlayed that my junior year, and then I got a chance to be featured in Ad Age. And they flew you to New York. You got to go through your interviews. They put us in the Warwick Hotel, which is one of the best hotels you can ever be in. And they set you up for all these different job interviews. And I had my first interview there and completely blew it. I'm like, oh, fuck. Right. It's not going to matter because I'm in Ad Age and it's in print, so I'm going to be fine. So fast forward a year later, I landed a job at Kramer Krause with another agency where worked in their PR arm, making $7 an hour, 20 hours a week. So, needless to say, didn't parlay that. So eventually, I had to leave Milwaukee, which where that job was, and move back home with my mom. So my first full-time job out of college, I was able to get a maintenance man job at 420 East Ohio. So, short answer to your question, right out of college, it did not work out well.
Right, okay, cool. Okay, now I feel bad.
So now you'll feel bad.
Yeah,
because 2004, I mean, people, it wasn't as bad as 2008 when the economy completely collapsed, but it was rough. It was real rough. Well, Bush, I think Bush was going into his second term at that time. So, like, to me, the apocalypse might as well have happened. So,
and that's when I came. That's when I really came out and was looking for jobs, and it was like, no,
there was nothing there.
Like, no.
But luckily, in that whole process of being named there, I had met Faye Ferguson, who's the part owner, president of Burrell Communications. I had met her just at a random presentation she did on women in advertising. 2 years later, I just cold called her. She's like, hey, come in, meet with HR. Got nowhere that day, but then a year later they called me for my interview. So I got in at Burrell, worked there for 5 years, went to BBDO, another agency in Chicago, lasted there 2 years. Then while at BBDO, a headhunter had reached out, and she sent this email, said, a new era awaits you. So no one really clicked on the thing, but anything like I click on everything because I'm not smart. That's most people get viruses from porn. I get it. Those ones are easy to get off your computer. I get it from clicking on dumb emails, but I clicked on that one, and then a recruiter was just like, "Hey, there's this opportunity to work for New Era Cap. Have you ever heard of it?" Meanwhile, I'm like getting a hard on thing. I'm like, "Yeah, I heard of New Era Cap."
Right.
Are you serious?
Fuck you mean?
So she was like, "Yeah, I don't think you're qualified, but I don't have anybody else responding to my email." I was like, "Because your title sucks, you should maybe hire a marketing person to help you." But she put me in front of my now current boss to this day, and just said, "Hey, listen, I don't think you'll get this job, but I'll put you in front of her, but you got to give me intel so I can prep a candidate that I really like." I'm like, "Damn, that's kind of fucked up." So
that's like a girl telling you like, "We're not gonna." Like, no, that's so fucked up.
Yeah, I can't even think of an equivalent.
Yeah, that's like a girl telling you, "You know what? I don't think you're going to work out for my friend, but I want you to take her out on a date and tell me how she is on the date, so I can tell this guy who I really want to hook up with later on down the line."
Yeah.
Okay.
1,000%.
Exactly.
So
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that just motivated me. So I had the best interview I ever had in my life.
That's what I'm talking about. Colie.
Then I got the job, and then they said, "Hey, you got to move to Buffalo, New York." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So lived in Buffalo for 3.5 years. Now I've been back here for 3 years. So that's the long route. So the short answer is, no matter what you're trying to do, there's no direct path.
True.
There's no template that you can follow. It's you get up every morning, you get disciplined, you work hard, and then hope that you accidentally trip and strike oil. That's really what life is about. And it's like when you get those opportunities, you got to just pounce on it. Yeah, it's like a fumble in the NFL. You see that ball, just hop on it and hope for the best, man.
Because
that's
look,
all I could say.
Like one of the last marketing courses I was taking, it was a marketing research. I'll never forget this, Marketing 390. And like every class, the teacher always told us, "You guys better get on your shit, or you're gonna be selling insurance for the rest of your life." And all he did was laugh, because that was like the truth. If you was in marketing, you couldn't find a job, your ass was at Aflac trying to sell it. Like once you sell it to your whole family, you're fucked. Like what do you have left after that? So and that's what I was thinking. Like when I got out, and I was like, "Man, I can't find a job, Joe. I'm gonna have to fucking sell insurance." And luckily, I just got a job with CPS, and I've been stuck there ever since. I mean, Dion been trying to pry me away for years, but it's just like, I don't know, I'm stuck here. But it's crazy. I wonder what would have happened if I would have went on that marketing path. Like
I think the work you guys are doing on this show is going to open up some doors. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting here right now, but Dion, I think we spoke advice. I might have been couple IPAs in by that point, but I really believe in what you guys are doing. Just kind of the need to be able to take the topics of the day, dissect them, and have a real honest perspective. Because where the fuck else are you gonna get it? You're not gonna get it from some shitty blog that some person who's better about life is doing. You're not gonna get it like what other podcast is out there that's doing what you guys are doing. So I think this is gonna be something bigger than what it is right now today. It's doing really well, but I think it's gonna continue to go upwards. So that's my take on that.
Thank you so much.
I greatly appreciate that. Wait a minute. that's my
do extra shit.
Hey man, don't worry about that.
My horn only is a horn. I feel so bad now.
Look, man. All right. So I think what's great about that story is that a lot of times, everybody does think that it happened for everybody, right? Now I tell people all the time, I'll be like, nothing just automatically, like, I won't say nothing, but rare is the story that's like, boom, I just got it. Like I finished and I just walked right into my dream job one day, and they said, "We waiting on you." Like that's not how life works. Like you said, like, gee, you went to Marquette 4 years, ad age, and then like you made a stop as a maintenance man. And I
long stop as a maintenance man.
He said a long stop. And it's crazy because like, anybody that's like been through it, like that's how life work. Like you look up and I tell people all the time, like I'm working with some interns now, and I always tell them like people paint it, and I give them the real. Like they like, yeah, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make video games, and that's gonna be the first thing I'm gonna do. And I'm like, like I get it, you know what I'm saying? And I always tell them it's steps to everything. And that first step ain't necessarily just, it's kind of like, your first attempt at a shot with a basketball ain't a dunk. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a dunk. So,
man, that's a great man. You're preaching the word right there.
But yeah, I tell everybody, if you talk to almost anybody, they tell you some steps. Because I tell people like, man, people always ask me about like, oh, how did you get in IT and stuff like that? And I'm like, I knew computers, you know, for a while in a certain degree. But I tell people, man, I had to stop at an internship that was 6 months, that was $300 a month. I was like, man, that was rough times, boy. Like, I don't even know if I was getting haircuts regularly then, like during that time of my life. And I think that climb is such an important thing for people because it gives you so much perspective.
And, you know, like people think the climb is just going to be a steady continuum going up. Like, you take some steps back. Like, you sometimes, like, no, you have to sometimes leave a job before they fire you.
Right.
Yeah. Shit is real life, man. Shit.
Yeah. Had to get about that jam.
Had to get about that jam, baby. Checks got to still come.
Because the crazy thing is, even when I was working as a maintenance man, I was on probation there because you think you're going to be sweeping the floor. That job's not even guaranteed. I mean, that was a union job, so I was fucking up there because I was half-assing, like I wouldn't dust shit that I knew had to be done. So I almost lost that stuff. So I mean, even if you think that path is guaranteed, man, ain't nothing easy in this world, and it only gets harder. So
yeah, because that's how. What happened with me? I worked at Home Depot for like 7 months before CPS, and I just remember being humble, like, God damn, and it was like one of the ladies, the ASM, she knew I had a degree, but like no one else believed I had a degree. They just thought I was just some hood dude. You know, I still had my braids when I first started working at Home Depot, so they were like, man, this nigga ain't got no degree, you know.
Right.
So she was like, you really smarter than all your supervisors. No way you should be taking orders from them. She was like always doing like, fuck that, I'm gonna put you in the ASM program. But then she got booked, and that fucked up that for me. But
booked as in book 'em, Dano?
Booked as in fired, gone, finito, punted.
And I thought you meant she got arrested.
Nah, you might as well, but it's a story for another show. And I just remember thinking, damn, life is fucked. I got a degree that don't mean nothing, and I'm taking orders from an acne-faced 21-year-old who's been pushing carts at Home Depot since he was 16. It was all bad. I'm making minimum wage. They try to start me off in the fucking parking lot. I'm like, Joe, I went to college to be a fucking cart pusher, Joe. It was a lot of tending. Fuck Home Depot. If you ever meet him, if you ever meet the guy, Home Depot, tell him I said, fuck him. Yeah, that guy, Home Depot, Mr. Depot. Hey, bro, I'm saying,
I get it.
Joe, they erased my application. Like, they edited to say no degree.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly, Joe. Yeah, it was buck wild. But I was in a bad space. You know, I was drinking Black Label every night, and my OG was on. And my OG was
man,
on my back.
Stop talking, man.
My OG was on my back.
Stop saying you went too far. Like,
I'm just saying, Joe. I thought we was talking about the plight.
You know what? See, here's. Go ahead.
Man, the horn just haunted stuff.
I didn't touch the button. The horn was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Enough.
Listen,
I had a rough life.
here's the shit. See, I get it. You bringing it up on this episode. Right. But see, you should have brought that up when we had KMR here. Because we had legal representation in the booth. you never know.
Bring up I need another civil suit from 12 years ago.
Hey, I never heard of it. They went in and erased on the application. They erased your educational experience and only left Curie on that.
Oh man, no bullshit, bro. No bullshit. I am not making this up to y'all, bro. Because the way the black lady explained to me, like, if you have a degree, when you come in, they put you in a assistant manager program because shit, you damn near qualified to run the store already.
Right.
So when they seen that, Joe, they erased it. Then I told her, like, I have a degree. Because you know when you sign your papers, they go over everything they printed out and shit. I'm like, I got a degree. Why I say no right here? She went in the back, talked to them, and they was like, acting like they know what's going on. It's like, oh hell no, he has a degree. So they asked for my transcripts, all that. Sent all that in. Then they said, okay, we can't have you in a lot. We go put you in building materials. So now I'm working with concrete and shit. And these were all the other people. So the black lady like, hell no, still. You supposed to be in at least sales making money because you got a marketing degree. We're going to put you in sales where we can use you.
Yeah.
Right.
Never got to sales. I was in building material, goddamn it, carrying drywall, because you only can get a forklift for drywall if it's like 20 sheets. Right. So Mark was coming in, let me get 17, 18. I'm like, could you want 20? No, just get 17, 18. So now I'm pulling all that shit off, getting concrete. My forearms was on point though, but man, I was making like $9.75. It was all bad, Joe. Shout out to the lot. Shout out to all my brothers who uplifted me, said it's gonna get greater later. Cause baby, it was rough.
I've never heard of having to send your transcripts to Home Depot.
Exactly. Exactly.
I just thought about that. I've
bro,
never heard any shit like that.
Never, bro. They erased my shit, Joe. They had me down as a lot of tenants.
Nah, see, I go to Home Depot too much now. I'm gonna start asking motherfuckers, hey, you ever had to send your transcripts to this motherfucker?
Man, Joe, on some real shit, Joe. Cicero and Armitage. I'm saying it. I'm saying the place, the motherfuckers still ain't probably there, but fuck them. I'm talking, Joe. It was a humbling experience for me, Joe. But when you got kids, Joe, you got to bite their pride. Goddamn it!
Hey, I hate to laugh.
No, you can laugh. We can laugh because now look at us now.
I know.
Look at us now.
I get it, man. But it's like a laugh and a cry.
It was. It is. I'm fighting back tears right now.
So, Colie, Senior Marketing Manager for New Era. So tell us I know we got a title, but I know people want to know, like, what do you like? What's your responsibilities in that role?
So a lot of what I do is I don't design product. What I do is I work on stories, so then the product can fall out of that. Okay. If that makes any sense. So for example, if we come up with leather, that might be your story. You start there, and I work on the marketing campaign, like from your visuals to the athletes you want to work with to the entertainers you want to work with, and we built that out so it's a story that you want to then buy. Mm-hmm. So I mean that's a complicated way of just saying, like, I make pictures. I make pictures to help like sell stuff. So at the end of the day, I think just the way people interact with brands, interact with media has evolved and changed a lot since I first started, where, all I did was work on TV spots and print ads. Now it's all about just developing content. So content creation is what my primary focus is. Okay. And ideally, that can come to life via a collaboration, i.e. with a Paper Planes and Emory Jones, with the Eric Emanuel out of New York City, with Bun B out of Houston, or we got some cool stuff coming with Leaders, or that can be as simple as working with Major League Baseball to make sure people know about like the authentic collection, like your on-field hat, like Ant's wearing right now. Yeah. So do a range of things, but mostly a lot of it's content creation and helping to sell in our product to retailers with said content that I make. So it's a very long description of it's a very long description. It's hard to really describe because there's no one thing you do. You kind of figure out like how can you sell more shit, and then what's going to be needed to get a retailer to buy more shit, and hopefully it's going to be popping when it hits the marketplace. Because if you have too many swings and misses, your credibility is kind of done. So knock on wood, I haven't had too many yet, but that's what's going on right now with me.
Yeah, I think what's crazy is that being a creative person, and I care so much about like what I wear, like the clothes. I'm like, I feel like I can't be caught lacking at any time. Yep. Mostly because I'm like, man, I'm already like a big guy. I'm already fat. I can't you can't be like a big guy badly dressed, right? So it's like I need my shit to be like on point, especially my hats because I'm bald, right? So. And even before then, my hairline was receding. Wow, I had a bald spot. I need to get that shit together. But I think what's interesting is now we're seeing not necessarily like, I guess, New Era when we were young, right? So what we knew was the official, like the on-field hats. Yep. And every year. You need certain hats. You kind of need a White Sox hat. You got to keep a fresh White Sox. You're from the South Side. Keep a fresh White Sox hat. And then just because of Jay-Z, you fuck around. You need a Yankee hat. Yep. Like even if you ain't like the Yankees, you needed a Yankee. And I think it's interesting to see how that's evolved to this point, because I remember the first time that I saw the Paper Plane hat, I said, I need this fucking paper plane hat. Like, and I was like, I need this hat. And I was like, I'm the person, I get so obsessed. I was low key furious because I couldn't find one for a while. I was like, what the fuck in the world? I need this fucking hat. And I literally wanted to be the person to DM Emery on IG, like, fam, I need this hat.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I got it, and it was so funny. One day, I was in a party. I was in a posh party, and I had my hat on, and this girl comes up to me, and the guy had one on, and she says, "So why does the underbelly of your hat have the green on the bottom, and that guy doesn't?" And it was so funny. I was like, listen.
The underbelly.
I was like, listen, his hat is. I was like, his hat's real, I'm sure. I was like, but she's like, but yours looks like the one that they wear. And I was like, and it was so funny. I was like, see, it's all in the details,
Always,
baby. Like,
always.
And I think it's funny to see how, you know, those two worlds are colliding. Is, you know, kind of like getting from just the sports world to the fashion world into hats, like the leaders hats. I have probably so many leaders like fitteds like this. So I guess what I'm kind of relaying to you, like, how do you feel about that direction, like almost like that pivot?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, if you think, what's the term they use now? Ath-leisure is the trendy term that we use in marketing. Like, that's in right now. That's hot. Like, you can wear. I mean, we're all, you know, two of us in here have joggers on. You can go to a formal meeting and you can have on a pair of nice, like, sneakers and get away with it. You know, you might not be able to wear what we got on today, but you get a pair of, like, you know, solid, you know, Jordan 1s that are, you know, more like one color monotone. You can get away with that in a meeting now. Like, the amount of money that you're spending on the Nike tech fleece and all that stuff now. Champion making its comeback in a very, very big way right now. A lot of the stuff that we see Puma's doing, like, these are major brands, like, signing major artists. Like, look at Puma. They got, what, Rihanna. They got Big Sean. Which one of the Kylie Jenner? I think they got.
I think so.
Yeah.
They got one of the Haddads. I think Bella or Gigi. I don't know which one. But just that's how much a brand like that is signing these kind of, you know, red carpet celebrities, for lack of a better word. These are who the lifestyle brands that we was fucking with when we was in high school. This is the direction that they've taken. Back then, you know, there was no. When we were in high school, S. Carter wasn't out yet. That didn't hit till we were in college. The G-Unit stuff didn't hit. Right. It was all athlete-driven, and then the hood is what really propelled, you know, all of these companies to really make a lot of money. Right. And now, you know, you've taken what started, you know, really with hip-hop, and now it's kind of evolved to the boardroom. I think it's just crazy to see that evolution. And, you know, you keep cats on the train, you know, like, you know, our age, when New Era really took off, that it was our generation. It was us that did that. 96, first time Spike Lee got a red hat. First time New Era ever did a non-team color hat was 96. People thought we've been doing that shit for years. 96 was the first time we've ever did it. So, you know, everything's coming back to that year right now. But you look at what fashion has done since then, like, just... It went from, you know, getting anything just with the name brand on it back in high school. That was a goal. I didn't care what it was. If it was it had to be a Nautica, Tommy Hilfiger, Polo, which I never had in high school. My mom
Chaps.
Yep. That's exactly
what I had. Chaps.
It's Ralph though, so it still counts. Right?
It's Ralph though.
But you just see the evolution that those brands have taken, you know, since then, and what's been into the marketplace, where people like aren't brand loyal. Some people, I only fuck with Tommy. Like, that's not the case anymore. You're gonna just get what look good and what fits on you. And I think it's just interesting the turn that fashion has made, and how, you know, New Era has been able to adapt and go with it, you know, that entire time. So I think, like, headwear and what that means, because it's the first thing you see. Like, usually when I see somebody, I ain't gonna lie, I look at their head, either to see if their lining is fucked up, what they, you know, if they got a bald spot, if they trying, did they just try to get that new shit tattooed on their head so they don't look bald. Then you look at the shoes. That's how I kind of measure somebody up before I start to judge them, and then we go into everything else.
Okay. So in terms of we've seen some interesting collaborations from New Era. We've seen, like I said, so we've seen the paper planes. We've seen that, and then also I think, you know, we've seen a lot of the smaller companies get shine with hats, and you'll go. I remember I went in a hat shop in Manhattan, and they just had so many like dope hats of course, that I've never seen. And then you even look at the social experiment hats, Chance's hats. And I remember I went to a Sox game, and I was like, yeah. So I walked to the shop. Thought I was gonna walk right in and buy the hat, and the guy was like, yeah, no. He was like, those hats sold out in minutes.
Literally.
Yeah, literally minutes. So my question to you is there anybody that you feel like is like you're like the person or a person or a story you want to tell with the hat that you haven't yet?
I would really love to do something with Pharrell. I think he I feel like we're all in 2017. He's in 2039. I just feel Pharrell is that guy that's ahead of us. I really would like to do something with him. What the Paper Planes had, Rock hats. That's what I would say Jay, but we're kind of like that's the path like we're on with Emery and him already with that one. Tyler the Creator really intrigues me. I think he
Fresh boy.
Yeah, I think he has the second best album of this year thus far. I mean, I'm bold enough to say that.
Well, let's go. Let's see. Okay.
We'll get into that. We'll get into
all
some
Dolphins.
music.
I apologize to all you Dolphins right now. I'm back on y'all side. Keep going.
But I think he just has.
Stay away.
I think he just has a mind that's out there. Other than that, there's a lot of smaller things like here in Chicago. I feel like we're not doing enough shine on people in Chicago to get them out there. Like New Era's never done nothing with Zoe. We've never done anything with Sir and Madam. We've never done anything with Instrumental. We've never done anything
with the No Foreplay show.
No, seriously, like that's the thing. No Foreplay. We've never done anything with Fat Tiger. These are all the things that I feel that's missing. That's what brands need to do to really propel themselves. There's no one thing that you can do that's going to put you on the map. The people I listed, if you think about fashion right now, there's no one person that can literally turn a brand around. You need all those people working for you. Think about it. Right. Think about like what brand Jordan's going through. Like you like. Well, let me put. Name 3 people just in the fashion world. If you had a brand. Give me 5 people that can actually turn around your brand. You can't do it. Like there's 3 people that can do it. Pharrell, Kanye, Jay. After that, there's no one bullet. You guys, you got even Chance. I think it's going to be interesting to see, Chance and what he's done with New Era, what he's done for the city. I think all of that. I think from a pure just fashion standpoint to actually drive an entire trend like Jay did with button-ups. Like Cat's got some fucked up. I got some fucked up button-ups.
We were just talking about that in the barbershop. We were just talking about that in the barbershop,
because of Jay. You know what I'm saying? So, I think I forgot the question. I started talking so damn much, but I think it's just interesting. Like you only have so many things that you could do in fashion to actually win. Like Jordan's been losing. Their most successful thing they've done this year has really probably been the Off-White stuff, and that's like a Nike all-in initiative. Other than that, the calls, you can argue that one was popping.
As I say, if it ain't for the collabs,
but those are so limited that you gotta know either you paying $1,500 for them or you're just kind of shit out of luck.
Pretty much.
What I'm saying? So I think fashion has to be accessible, and I think that's the thing a lot of these brands miss. You have to make it accessible, and you have to work with a lot of like homegrown things to like really get it out there. And I think we at New Era, I think we're on the path of doing some of this stuff, and somebody continues to blow up. You hope that partnership continues. I met today I'm rocking a Fear of God hat. I met Jerry Lorenzo when he was in athlete management before Fear of God was even a thing. And it's just I didn't work on a particular project with New Era, but it's one of those things. He really has a good spirit, good soul. I met him when he was running the merch for the Yeezy show. He was telling me he was getting this like something off the ground, and now here he is. But just as easily, that same person could have never got anything off the ground. You just don't know what you have. So I think you have to mine and cultivate and grind really hard to get that next, shooting star. But no one wants to do that grind though anymore. That's what I find interesting. So
I think what I find interesting with fashion is that when you look at fashion, and the thing about fashion that I always like, me and Mike, we used to spend all of our money and with all the people you just named from Chicago, right? And we used to be like, we the pillars of fashion on the South Side. And Mike, so
What was your hand?
listen, this is before your time. You wasn't even that. You said I had braids. That was when you was at Home Depot.
You had braids with beads.
Hey, don't clap.
So,
Don't clap, brother. You can look at my pictures from Secrets.
Like, and then when you see me out, I tell anybody, you hardly rarely see me out with a t-shirt or a hoodie on that ain't from a Chicago brand. It's just a natural thing. And I think one thing that you said that really struck me is because now, I need my fashion to be accessible. I need to be able to hit your website. I need to be able to order it, or I need to be able to go and get it. It's not that I can't line up, but just that whole prospect of lining up and having to finesse somebody to get it, I'm like, did they think about the person that, my work hours is damn near like essentially 7 to 7. You know what I mean? So, I think the interesting part about that is that when you said the Zoa Fashion Geek, the Sir and Madam, I kind of look at that like, yo, like these things would be dope. And the support of those brands here is, I feel like it's so great. And I feel like people, anything that they will make, the collaboration will make, it'll definitely sell out. Because one, when people see it, just like, the inside this leaders hat, granted, you already got 100% faith in leaders, but then it's like, I got 100% faith in New Era.
Yeah.
Like, I've been wearing New Era, what am I? I'm 35. I've been wearing New Era probably, from my mother buying me, has probably 20, maybe 28 years of my life or something like that. So I think like those things are great. I mean, I would love to see more of it. And I think, the one thing too, is such a great story to tell.
Yeah.
Sir and Madam has a great story to tell.
Yeah.
Zoe, and even if you look at Zoe outside of the regular Fashion Geek stuff, just where he wants to go as a designer, it's a great story to tell.
And that's the thing that just for me as a consumer, that interests me the most. Just sitting down with some of these people and getting their, getting their, I don't want to say aura, but like their essence, because they think in ways that I don't. Like, you think you're creative, but then you sit down with some of these people, you're like, oh shit. Like, I guess I'll become the note taker now, just to make sure I can send out a recap so we can keep the process going. And I think it's just untapped talent. It's crazy. You saw what Nike did for NFL kickoff, and they featured, Joe on it. They had Joe from Fat Tiger. They had that. So, okay, this is going in a good direction. So, like, what comes of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a good look for everybody, in my opinion. But what comes of that? What's that next step in that evolution? And I feel brands are happy with that one shot, and then they don't follow up, and that's the thing that I don't like. So anytime I go into a negotiation, it's for at least 3 things, pending the success of the first, obviously. But like the discussions, when we started with Emory, is like, hey, we can't just do one thing and walk away. We got to do the hats, we got to do baseball. Like, what else can we think to do? And that's how we landed on a black baseball hat. We came out with the red, white, and blue one, and we want to see what else the future is going to hold for us. And I think that's a thing that people really don't think about. They don't think about the future. They a lot of people are hype beasts, and I think that's the interesting thing that you see. And that's not just in fashion. That's just in life. People like to only play with winners. They don't want you when you're down or when you're not, driving in for the winning touchdown. Like, I think there's a lot of bandwagoning that goes on in fashion. I think there's a lot of bandwagoning that goes on in life that makes things tougher for people. It can make it tougher for you to get a shot, make it tougher for you to get that opportunity you wanted for. Like, nobody wants to give you that first job. People want to hire, even like to get an entry level job, like, you gotta have experience.
How the fuck can I have experience if you don't hire me?
Fucking entry level, 5 years experience.
I mumbled that shit so much the summer after graduation. I'm getting started.
Yeah, I had to do unpaid internships for Radio Disney on the goddamn Party Patrol.
Whoa.
You talk about work. I would rather push carts on Home Depot than have to do that again, teaching little white girls how to do the cha-cha slide, because it was brand new at that time.
Oh my god!
Lizzie
Nobody
McGuire
deserves
frisbees.
Lizzie McGuire frisbees.
That's torture.
Yeah.
God.
Anyway.
That's depressing.
But look at you now.
Look at you now.
Shining like Southern Mississippi.
I think, It's interesting how you talked about kind of looking into the future kind of with these things. So you said, like, what's the next thing? When you sit down to do these, and if you can't answer this, that's fine, just let me know. How often, and this is something I always think about when I see like shoes come out, and I feel like, man, like, you see how limited they are. And to me, my thought process, I'm like, is this even like a profit center? Like, is this even like creating, if this product is so limited, like the profit, like, is that something that companies as a whole think about when they doing like these small releases? Are they like, okay, like, this is going to be a profit for us? Or is it more like we want to do something that's kind of creative, that's kind of like, I guess, marketing for us? What's the thought process?
I mean, it's really a 3-tier process, right? So call it the sneaker releases. Let's call it what Nike's doing with Virgil. That'll be at the top of your pyramid, your tastemaker energy type deal. That's just so you can take over the blogs. You have a social story. You have something cool to give all your, the guys like Upscale Vandal. You have some, all those guys. You have something cool to get in those guys' hands. So that's one level. Your second level, that's where you really drive your revenue. That's that mid-tier kind of mall mass. So you want, Nike, Adidas, whoever you are, you want to be popping up top. So then when you go on a Foot Locker, your buyers are always on Hypebeast. They're always on Complex. They're always on all these sites. So if you're owning that news cycle for 2 weeks because you have a series of drops, then when you go in there to sell, like, hey, this is going to be the next drop, we're going to make this available to you. But you also need to take on all this other shit along with all this apparel. And that's what, a lot of these shoe manufacturers have been able to do for a long time.
That's how they
and
live.
I think what's happened is it's kind of hit a critical mass where there's only so much shit you can bring into the mall because no one's going to the fucking mall anymore.
Right.
Yeah, a guy had broke that down to us a long time ago. He had like a little mom and pop store on like Cermak. And he was like, I was about the candy cane 14s. I'll never forget this. The Ferrari joints or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I be want to get all those exclusive shits, but for every pair of mics I got to get 30 pair of fucking Air Raids to try to sell. You know what I mean?
Not even Air Raids, even
T-shirts and shit.
Yeah. That stuff. And so then that makes that kind of third channel is your value channel. So that's why companies like DSW, that's why you see I feel like there's a Ross that opens on a corner like every other day. But that's how that value channel lives. So a lot of people, that's where you kind of exit strategy. So if you're, let's say, X shoe retailer in the mall, you bought too much Jordan stuff, they gonna control your pricing and how much, when and where you can discount it. And then Ross happens to be one of those outlets that you have there. So short answer, long answer to your question. You do that stuff, you do all this cool shit so you can try to convince those guys in the middle to really make your money. So you want to do all the stuff with Virgil, you want to do the stuff with Cause, you want to do all that stuff. So when it comes time to do the holiday releases for the Red 11s, which no less than 6 kids are gonna die over, you're gonna minimum on those. Those are how I'm actually gonna have to actually break my own rule and probably have to get one of those. But when you have something like that, you do all this stuff up here so you can convince a Foot Locker, for example, that you gotta buy 500,000 pairs of this, but to get 500,000 pairs, you also gotta buy all these other 10 different shoes that you don't want, that no one's gonna buy. Then you have to buy all these T-shirts, apparels, sweatbands, armbands, and whatever else to get in there. So it's all about money to do. You spend all the money to do cool shit, so you can hopefully make money from somebody else. It's no different than a Procter and Gamble. Tide is like probably one of the most profitable brands they have, and it's like cheap to make detergent. So your brands like Olay and Pantene and all those guys can spend the money because it costs more money to do beauty. Like Nike's number one selling shoe is the Monarch, right? That old man walking shoe that's at Kohl's. Number one selling shoe.
Yeah, it's their number one selling shoe.
Far and away their number one most profitable margin driving shoe.
And it's definitely the ugliest shoe. That's what I would always talk to y'all about in the sneaker group when we would talk about like all these Jordans and Mikes and shit. I'm like, fam, like, and it was funny because people would go hard on me. I'd be like, yo, like Matt Powell brought the numbers out. He would be like, yo, the Monarch is their most profitable. They sell so many fucking Monarchs. But what the Monarch look like, you see, they like, wait a minute, that's the nursing home shoe. You are absolutely correct. It is the nursing home shoe doing the numbers. Like, and I think that's interesting because
I gotta Google this.
I got it.
It's the
already,
shoe that
big
Pete
dog.
Carroll wears.
Come on, G.
It's a Pete Carroll.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
The number one.
Yeah.
You know what the number one sneaker brand in the U.S. is? Take a guess.
K-Swiss.
Nike's number one. No, God, no.
No, just like a shit.
Somebody's wearing K-Swiss. I don't think they should be allowed to have sex with a girl.
Oh, don't tell me. Is it Asics?
Nope.
nah, fam.
Nope.
What is it?
Skechers.
Skechers.
Yeah.
They just
I can
pump
do
them out. They
Yeah.
take what's hot. They quickly bootleg it, sell it for $35, just pumping money. So Nike has to do a shoe like that, Monarch, to fund
To keep up.
all this other stuff that they're doing. So you have to make money as a fashion brand. You have to make money on each and every level, up here, in the middle, and then at that bottom. And that bottom thing is becoming wider and wider with Ross, TJX, and all those things opening more and more.
I was gonna break that down in drug terms, but I'll leave it alone.
And you know where I really saw it? I felt like Adidas went with their rise. Adidas did themselves so hard in that area. And I was like, yo, this is genius, right? Because we all saw the Yeezys. We all wanted the Yeezys. Yeezys was the hardest shit to get. You look up auction here, auction there. You knew stores that was getting Adidas, and they were like, yeah, we got them, but we only sell them to like people that we know. And you look at it like you can't really do shit about it.
Right.
And then you would go into your local Finish Line, and Adidas will have the knockoff, like a motherfucker, of the Yeezy. But hey, they're like, no, we made the knockoff, so you're still gonna buy it. It's like,
Right.
and then everybody in the middle who like, we don't necessarily give a fuck if it's a Yeezy or not.
Yeah.
I'm buying the fuck out this shoe, and we like, nah, we only want like the person at the top of the pyramid, the cool person, like, nah, we want the Yeezy or nothing. And but everybody in the middle and that lower tier is buying the
NMDs.
No, not even.
Not the
NMD
NMDs.
is still at the top.
Yeah.
But that little middle $80 shoe that got the zebra print as well.
Oh, okay.
Like that shoe, like they buying the fuck out that shoe. Like that's why when Pharrell kind of came and they had the Superstar, the monotone, but then they kept it going, and them was flying off the shelf, like flying off the
I
shelf.
still want some yellow ones.
Yeah, and I look at it like Adidas hit that market so hard,
Yeah, they did their thing.
and now you look at it like they reaping the benefit.
Yeah, ain't no wearing an Adidas back. They here now.
Man.
They back. They bike.
They back.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Even when you see the little dirty kids wearing the Adidas tracksuits with Air Force Ones.
Wait, no, listen. We first off, we can't use Air Force Ones no more. We got all
OG
white,
Fazo.
all white G Fazos.
G Fazos. Don't step on my
white
G
G
Fazos.
Hey,
Shout out to
What's the
Herbo.
background behind that?
Okay, it's an East Side thing, 150 Rock Block. G Herbo is a rapper from Chicago, and I guess one of his big homies who probably passed away. He used to wear Air Force Ones a lot, so they just named the shoe after him. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. So it's so funny because he's like, don't step on my all white G
Fazos.
Fazos. And right now, if you go to Google and type in all white G Fazos, Air Force One's gonna pop up automatically. Just
Damn.
Air Force Ones.
Let's go,
everywhere.
shorty.
And I'm like, yo, this is some Chicago East Side shit. And it's gonna be like, what? Like, yes. And you know that's how much culture is impacted by something that's just that, something that small. But I think that's kind of dope to see. Like you said, that when you hit that upper level, that level up here, that was a great perspective you put it in. That level up here affects all those other levels.
Absolutely.
Because so many of those people don't have that mentality. I always tell people we're the outliers. And I'm like, we're the outliers who, we want the exclusive shit. And I'm like, but so many people, like, if you go to the mall and you go into the Forever 21 or whatever, they like, nah, like, we don't need the top of the line. Like, we don't need the Boda skin leather jacket, right?
Yeah.
We don't need the $700 leather. Give me that one right there and I'm cool. Interesting.
I might gotta get me some G Fazos.
Yeah, what's crazy about it? You type it in. I just typed it in. Like Nike owns like the first search term. So somebody who works for Nike bid on that search term, so they get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that's even crazier
Yeah,
about it.
Nike
Like,
was like, wait, yes. I can say this, and let me just go off on a tangent. I just need people to stop buying all the weekend clothes from H&M within hours. Because he dropped another collection,
and I definitely got 2 sweatshirts.
and I was working hard. By the time I was like, oh, this shit is gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna start alerting you, bro. I subscribe to a lot of Twitter, a lot of tweets, so they send me stuff as soon as it's happening, like in real time. When I wake up in the morning, I got like 900 tweets from overseas shoes done dropped overseas while I was sleeping. I missed out on them. So yeah, I'll send you all the links that hooks me up while I jump right in like nobody's business. Thief in the night. I definitely got 2 sweatshirts. Tough.
How much the sweatshirts be running for?
Like $35.
Yeah, because it's H&M.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Damn.
But they probably on eBay for $150 now.
Right,
Yeah.
they on eBay
Yeah.
for like 150. Yeah, man, it's rough.
But I wear my shit. I like them. Because I bought one last time, with the XO and had the red heart in the middle. Real dope shit.
Seems like you could 100% get Dion that sweatshirt. Seems like you got every one. You talking in detail about each and every one.
That's what I told him. I know he
that
knew
you
it.
wear all the time.
If he would have told me he wanted it this time, I would have. He know I'd grab it for him, with no doubt.
He knows how much I listen to the weekend, so he should have known.
I should have just automatic shit.
Let
Let me grab him this all black one.
I'm like,
Have you seen the Weekend live?
Yeah. I went to DC to see the Weekend live in 2012 because he didn't make a Chicago stop. I was like, fuck that. I'm going to DC.
Was that when we hadn't seen his face yet? He was still
his face
mysterious.
was still mysterious, but he lived up to the hype because he just appeared on stage, weird looking as hell. I don't know if you ever been to the 930 Club in DC, but all the concerts start at 9:30. A lot of them don't have opening acts, so you just walk in there, place full of fine Ethiopians, and it's just his whole band setup is just sitting there, and it's like just a drum set with the XO symbol on the front, and I'm just like, okay. And then you look up, and they have like these kind of like VIP like balconies that sit up over the stage. It's like the 930 Club so dope. I could imagine it being in Purple Rain. That's what I can equate it to. And it's ranked. I think it's in the top 10 of live music places in the United States.
Damn.
So literally, it's like a clique of people that look like they was with him. And now thinking back, I feel like one of them was the rapper Belly. So they kind of all like appeared, and there's a girl there. It was all guys and one girl. When I tell you the girl looks kind of like everybody you ever heard him sing about, like she was lily white, but she was definitely like real pristine, put together, hair red as hell, and it was just like real like pristine, like she looked like a doll amongst all these like rough looking dudes, and she stood in the front and kind of like literally watched him emotionless perform. And it was like the weirdest shit. She had red hair, definitely like real high stilettos. And at that time, he only had out the mixtapes. And he killed that shit for the most part. But at that time, it was certain notes he couldn't hit in person. Like he tried to do Dirty Diana, and he was missing some notes. But I was like, I can deal with it. And it was even like kind of surreal, like thinking back, because 930 Club, I think, only hold 1,000 people, but the concert was amazing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to think about going to see him at the United Center now.
Yeah.
Fuck. Now I gotta go see him with 22,000 people, and it's not gonna feel the same.
See, I'm in that stage now where I'm doing the music festivals. I mean, I'm too old to be doing them. I will readily admit that, but just the value you get for Lollapalooza this year. I mean, I was blessed with tickets, but to be able to see Run the Jewels, I made it through the Chant Show somehow or another. 21 Savage, Big Sean, Arcade Fire. Like to be able to catch them, and if you're willing to stand, which my knees only let me stand for so long before my ankles start swelling, so you get to know. But like to be able to get into these music fests, man, that's how I'm trying to see these. Like we're going to Austin City Limits because we can't afford the J show here. But Austin City Limits for 3-day pass is $250. You get down there, you get Jay on Friday, Chance and the Red Hot Chili Peppers on Saturday, and then the Gorillas, who I really fuck with, they're going on Sunday, and they haven't performed live in years. So so that's the move we making there.
See, I looked at StubHub the other day because I'm so conflicted on Jay, because I've seen, it's weird because one day I want to see Jay and hear this album, and the next day I don't. Because I'm like, damn, like I feel like I need to see clips of the show in other places before I decide. Because if I have another Jay show where it's just Jay on stage, I may lose it. Because I feel like, like I want to see Jay like put on some real theatrics, like maybe like kind of like how it's the clip of him doing the story of OJ with all the singers.
Yeah.
Or not the story of OJ, Family Feud with like that big ass choir in the back. I'm like, if Jay bring that choir, I'm with it. Because certain things, I always tell people like artists be lying. Like everybody wanted to see 2 Chainz, and I really like 2 Chainz, but I was like, fuck 2 Chainz because the advertisement said trap choir. But I was like, the trap choir is not with him. The people who performed with him that was directed by Farnsworth Billy did not go on tour with him. But he advertised that. And I'm glad I ain't buy tickets. Nigga lied. He lied.
Because he ain't going to cut a check to all that people.
He's not cutting that check.
I went to the St. Pablo show at Kanye. We expected an opening act because the Yeezus tour, Kendrick was his opening act.
Yeah.
And we went to New York to see it. So you get Kendrick and Kanye West.
Yeah.
I think those tickets were like $150, but like for that show.
Right.
Then the Yeezus show we paid on the secondary market. I don't want to say what we paid, but we paid a lot. And then it was just him, and we got the show. That was the first show after the whole robbery break-in, so his head wasn't into it. So I'm just like, what did I just pay for? So we driving home. I can't fit none of the T-shirts because I'm too fat. So I couldn't even get none of the merch, which was a line around the block for this. It was just an overall L for me that night. But I think Jay's gonna have Vic Mensa with him now. I heard that he's gonna be the opening act for him now. So. He has him going for him. I'm not sure if that's just the Chicago show or all of the shows, and that's enough to get you to go over that hump. But that's a lot of money for these tickets because that's how they making money. Because ain't nobody making money off of the actual music when we listen to it. We don't have to go to Coconuts and try to hope.
Oh, Coconuts! $17 for a Nostradamus CD. My God!
It's for another episode, but I think the possibilities from streaming that everybody always talks about, the Leo Cohens and the Kevin Lyles of the world, all these theories of where streaming could go to get people more money it's actually so fucking fascinating. The possibilities are crazy, and hopefully it comes to fruition sooner than later, so that people like Lil Uzi Vert don't get their song streamed more than 1 billion times, and then they like, well, Lil
get
Uzi
a $90,000 check.
It's like I'm sitting here like, could you imagine that shit? Like you sitting there like, my song's been listened to more than 1 billion times. And then you look and check that comes from that shit. You look at this. I would be looking at it in disgust, low key. She's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Hey, but before we get off topic, Joe, when y'all was talking about Jay-Z and you say we need some fucking theatrics, it's kind of what Skip Bayless touched on. Wale was on the show one day, and he's like, Wale, I love to see you perform. You got energy. You run around, you interact with the crowd. He said, but you get someone like Jay-Z, and he's just standing there for hours singing his best hits. And I'm like, damn, I never thought about that. But, we just be in awe of Jay anyway. We don't need him to do so much. Long as he's rapping the shit we want him to do, hey, Poppy, and we happy. You know what I mean?
Jay has enough charisma to fill an arena.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That he does.
Yeah.
It's just me, myself.
After so many times,
I just don't know how many times I can count.
Yeah.
But I mean, I put it like this: I know it's gonna be dope. Mm-hmm. I'm just, man.
Like that made me think about the festival he came out. Was that Glastonbury or some shit when he came out with the guitar and did Wonderwall at the beginning? Swag the fuck out, ho! Swag the fuck out.
I just saw Kendrick, YG. And it was funny even thinking about YG. YG actually, like, I like YG, but YG puts on a hell of a show. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of funny. I'm like, yo, he's bringing, like, the mid of his set, like, YG had slightly more theatrics than Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kendrick had the little videos to play, but YG had one little, and it seemed like an awkward intermission because he left, he came back, and they set up a couch. It was like a long, like, sectional couch, and it was like stripper poles. He had strippers out there. He had the Donald Trump impersonator. Now, mind you, after he performed, the strippers and the Donald Trump went to the crowd and walked around and take pictures with people on the floor. And, you know, YG was all in the 100 section, 15th row at a 100 level rapping. I was like, yo, like this, you know, he's working for his money.
I saw that video, I think, on your Insta feed. How would you feel like if that was a girl you went to high school with, that's what she was doing now? Would you be like, I don't know.
I went to Cheesecake. He was a motherfucking waiter there. You know what? I would be like, I would have took a picture with her. Be like, man, you know, I really like this performance.
That's how I felt when I seen. That's why it's hard for me to go to any concert with Future, because I seen Future at Shrine, and it was just like, I'm right next to Future. You know what I mean? It's like me and 30 people in here going crazy, and Future's like telling Esco, like it was really him and Esco, and he like, man, what song we gonna do next? Asking people in the crowd to say a song, like, Esco, play this. Then he got some people in there from Chicago. He like, man, y'all don't know I really fuck with Chicago. So he did Keep That Mask. I'm like, no, I Keep That Mask. And then some shorties out of nowhere roll their heads down. They all got on masks and shit. I'm like, oh, shit, this nigga's crazy. And it's cold. Like,
You know what?
Like, I can't go nowhere else to see Future unless it's like that.
I got a question because we gotta wrap up.
All right.
I do got a question. So we definitely talked about people that can literally shift the brand, right? Actually, I'm gonna make this question twofold. What artist or person do you think has the potential to shift the brand like that, but hasn't tapped into it yet?
It's a good one.
Ooh, shit.
Is this for everybody?
Yeah, for everybody.
Maybe Odell Beckham.
Odell Beckham. That's a good one.
I'm just thinking, like, if he can get to that next level of NFL superstardom, he's in the market in New York. He's already, like, kind of trendy per se. I just think, what would you think Odell would be missing?
I think it's hard for football because
Helmets.
They got on helmets, but I think for you gotta see the personality.
Yeah, I was gonna say his
all you
voice.
see is on field
Yeah,
and
you
his
don't hear his
antics, and then
voice.
it's vilified on Sports Center. So perception of him is not great.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? Just because of that,
He got to
because-
date somebody cold.
Yeah,
Yeah. have we ever seen really a truly marketable football player besides Deion Sanders? Like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders? We have
Kaepernick was on the verge.
Yeah.
His on the field play fell off. I mean, like through all the stuff, like his on. I mean,
Vic
guys
we
was
had
there
we had McNabb.
before.
McNabb with the Campbell soup.
yeah, Victor Cruz.
Vic was there.
Yeah.
Michael Vick was there before
Yeah.
the shit.
The shit.
Like when Michael Vick was on Madden,
Yeah.
and in Atlanta,
And we used to call him Tricky Vicky.
Oh, we weren't allowed to play with him. It was just not. You
Yeah,
know,
he was cheating. Like even Urlacher
you
could
just-
spy on him.
Yeah, you couldn't use them. But I think if we going with sport people, then I'm gonna say
or anybody.
all right. I'm gonna go with Lonzo Ball. Like
Lonzo.
I know his father's polarized, and I know he's young, and the whole thing about saying Migos is better than Nas. But I think his on the court play, and I think just the whole Ball family brand, I think it really has an opportunity to shift things. Just we got a note from ESPN saying that one of the Lakers summer league games did better numbers than ESPN Sunday night baseball. Like it was like Yankees, Red Sox, some shit like that. So Lonzo
I
Ball
can
summer
believe
league game.
Yeah.
And then think about like
Oh, that gym was packed. Like LeBron couldn't get in that gym.
that's the thing. And then like you had a game. You have like he doesn't have a major sneaker deal, but he wore Kobe's one day and he got a triple double. That set Instagram on fire. If you follow any sneaker news and Kicks on Fire, all that shit, I think he's that type of person that can literally carry a brand because I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think he's going to be like Jason Kidd 2.0. I think he's more athletic and I think he could do more than Jason Kidd. I think he's that good, but I think just the whole thing that his dad set up and he can be kind of that anti-person to his loud boisterous dad. I think if they play that up, continue that dynamic, I think he can eventually appeal to white people, which they're not right now, which they got to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, with me, I'm gonna throw on my cape one more time because I feel like
Give us a real answer.
I'm gonna give you a real answer.
Okay, I'm listening.
LeBron James. I look at it like for me, when I knew LeBron was coming with the post game interviews, I'm like, what the fuck he gonna have on? Like, then he come through, he have on like the biker jacket with the Dodd, with the Future hat. You know, it come through on some turtleneck and a blazer type shit. And I'm like, man, Joe, you know, if LeBron ever really want to get in his fashion shit, I think by him being with D-Wade in Miami, that made him change. Like, man, D-Wade coming with the shit. D-Wade in here like Versace down the right way. You know what I mean? That made him come with the shit. So I say a polarizing figure like LeBron, if he want to step into the fashion world, I think he can change some heads. Plus, you know, his shoes was already stylish. Like LeBron, like the South Beach is still like probably one of the top gym shoes I've probably seen in my life.
Who you going with, Dion?
Yeah,
It's rough. It's rough
It is.
because I got two people. Actually, I got three, and they are completely opposite of each other. So I'm gonna narrow it down to one, but I'm gonna tell you who my contenders are.
Dun, 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 dun.
One is Janelle Monáe.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Then I got Donald Glover.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then I got Russell Westbrook. But out of all them, I'm going with Donald Glover.
I was leaning towards that too.
Because
I thought we was only doing athletes, but go ahead.
no,
Doing anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go with him because the one thing, you know, culture, right? So he's already got both crowds, right?
Mhm.
He's got both crowds. You know, even people who never listened to him before, you know, my mother's age, my mother heard Redbone and she thought Bootsy was back. You know what I'm saying? You know, she thought Bootsy was back and she's like, who is this guy? I'm like, yo, he been making actually dope music a while. And then she started watching Atlanta and she's like, why didn't I know about this guy? You know, so I kind of feel like you have that. And then you have the people who watch him from his other stuff and they're like, yo, and then you got him now about to be in Star Wars. That's such a strong shift. And then you look at him, you know, essentially what he did for Migos, you know, just by saying Bad and Bougie.
Correct.
And, you know, just saying the outrageous, like you look at him and you see how dope of a comedian he is just by saying, like, there's no better song to make love to. It's like, what? And next thing you know, that song that we all was like damn near tired of at that point, it was like, pew.
Yep.
And somebody who could shift culture like that, and somebody who also all these networks are handing the keys to because they know he's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, and I read Fast Company, and he made a statement saying like he only has a few more years to be dangerous. And I look at it like, yo, like that dude. And to me, you know, granted that's not true, but I took it as him saying, hey, I only got a few more years to be fearless. And I feel like if he wanted to even just go this route, not even full time, but just say, I'm going to make these choices and put it on display,
Yeah.
people would follow the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I wanted to say Tyler, but I feel like his would just be a cult following because Tyler really has a lot going on. Like I was just watching his show on Viceland and just like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, how do you even find time to drop a dope ass album like this? He got like a 1-star shoe coming out with Converse, and then like the whole Golf Wang thing. They had a fashion show, and I'm like, damn, like where did you find the time? Like, do you sleep, my dude? But like I said, it'd be a cult. Not more like culture shifting like Donald Glover. And I was thinking about Rusty. I said he just go too far right now, but if he just scaled down just a little bit on the fashion side, I think he'll be like perfect. Yeah, especially after the MVP.
I really like that Donald Glover answer. I think he can't do wrong right now. I think for the next 2 years he's set up to do no wrong. Just between Star Wars season 2 of Atlanta, and then what was it NBC that gave him whatever, or was it ABC? I can't remember.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just giving him money.
Yeah,
like just saying, here you go, here's a check. Be creative, like you know. So Colie, thank you so much for coming. Great discussion. I feel like it was so many jewels dropped, and people gonna start looking at some of the shit different that's coming out because there's a lot happening. Man, so thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate you guys for having me. Hopefully, Next time I come back, we can chop it up more and start talking about females and relationships too. I got a lot of things to say about that
Oh shit!
You know what?
You have an open invitation.
Oh man, you know what? No foreplay.
shit. We out.
We out.
No foreplay.